Everyone in Star Wars has weird, gibberish names, except for Luke.
The more humanity advances, the less sci-fi movies stay sci-fi.
We like to monitor weight loss, but we are mostly interested in volume loss.
Star Trek: The Next Generation is actually 3 generations after the original series.
We are all trying to prove that something matters.
Lots of good-looking people must unknowingly cause car accidents just by being there and distracting drivers.
You only know you've fallen asleep once you've woken up.
Each of the 4 main Simpsons fits into a different Hogwarts house. Homer is stubborn and impulsive like a Gryffindor. Marge is diligent and loyal like a Hufflepuff. Bart is crafty and resourceful like a Slytherin. And Lisa is wise and intelligent like a Ravenclaw.
There's no winner in a headbutt. There's just the loser and a less loser.
There's probably a fair number of people who have lived and died without touching the entirety of their own back.
Almost everything that we see around ourselves was once the part of a star or supernova somewhere very far away.
Nobody is normal if you know them well enough.
Imagine if oxygen was visible to the naked eye.
There are plenty of people who, in the past year, have spent more money to buy clothes for a video game character than for themselves.
Even if you win, the prizes in those claw machine games are typically worth less than the cost to play the game.
Imagine what it would look like if all Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cellular signals were visible to the naked eye.
There are many who have flipped more burgers than pages of books.
Everyone knows what soups and sauces are, but no one knows the exact point where a sauce becomes a soup and vice versa.
The early worm is the first to be eaten.
The person next to you can never tell that you winked at the person across from you.
There are so many last moments we never realize are the last until years later.
We waste a few extra milliseconds more every year, scrolling further down the birth year drop-down on online forms.
Parents, can you imagine how deeply upset you'd be if your kid actually received a letter beckoning them to come live at a school for witchcraft and wizardry?
All motion on a screen is an optical illusion. Pixels don't move, they only change color.
You never feel like you become an adult. You just get older and wiser than everyone around you.
Fingernails and hair probably make a noise when growing. It's just too small and slow to hear.
Kids under 5 aren't being silly when they tell you their age to the nearest half year because 10% of their life is substantial.
Your inner monologue is an unreliable narrator.
We've all grown up with the concept of what a robot voice would sound like, but because of the way AI has developed, when we actually get real robots, they'll sound exactly like a human.
Somewhere there's a tree growing wood for the coffin you'll eventually lie in.
The hard-boiled egg is probably the most consistent universal food experience shared by humanity across time and regions.
Aladdin inadvertently took away other people's chances of getting their wishes when he befriended the genie.
Dentists insist you only use soft bristled toothbrushes and then start scraping your teeth with sharp metal tools.
To pets, going to the vet is like being abducted and probed by aliens.
There's a high chance you've missed at least one compliment on your clothes while you were walking down the street with both earbuds in and couldn't hear what people were saying.
There are probably countless dating profiles that have had their bio set to "here for a good time, not a long time" for several years.
It's more socially acceptable to spread misinformation than to correct someone for spreading misinformation.
Optical illusions are malicious compliance between your eyes and brain.
We would be in a lot of trouble if Schrödinger had an Amazon account.
Men can't keep Kleenex or lotion next to bed without it looking suspicious.
When you look up at the stars, you might be making inadvertent eye contact with an alien who's also looking up at the stars.
We're like time travelers, always trying to be somewhere we're not. Playing the lifelong game of age hide and seek, cozying up to grown-ups as kids, then chasing youth when our knees creak. Do we ever just live?